Hello and welcome to Comedy in a Nutshell, the podcast where comedians reflect on their journey through comedy and occasionally realise halfway through the story that they probably should have chosen dentistry. Each episode we talk about the gigs, the disasters, the friendships and the weird moments that pulled people deeper into comedy instead of scaring them away. I'm the comedy nerd who's seen more than 2,000 different comedians perform live comedy, and you can find out more about my journey in comedy fandom on my website, thecomedynerd.com. Please also take a moment to like, subscribe, rate, review, and share the podcast. Thank you. My guest this episode is a fast-rising London comedian with sharp observational comedy and a laid-back delivery. After making the finals in major competitions like the BBC New Comedy Award, he's gearing up for his debut solo show at this year's Edinburgh Fringe, stepping up with a full hour for the first time. Known for blending British Indian identity, family life, and everyday absurdities into calm, confident punchlines, it's comedian Raj Poojara.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm grand. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm in a very quiet car park.
It's the second interview I've had in a car. If you're happy, we jump in.
Let's go 2-footed straight in.
All right. So I always start at the beginning, of course. Growing up, was comedy a big influence on you in your earliest days?
It was, actually. And it's something me and my friends did together. We just used to gather at one of my friend's house, Daniel. We used to sit at his house and we'd just watch YouTube videos. And it started being sort of, there was none of these shorts and reels back then. It was long form. So we'd watch Lee Evans. We must have watched Lee Evans 20 times. Eddie Murphy, a lot of the Def Jam comedy, Bernie Mac. We grew up with a lot of American comedy. Yeah. And even people like Ori Styler, his viral clip with the garage bit with the sniper fingers, stuff like that. I grew up watching. So it's always been a part of it. And then sort of my side of it, it was very much a defensive thing that I had in my armory.
Right.
I was a very self-deprecating person, but comedy was my way out of awkward situations. Mm-hmm. So in school, I was definitely the funny guy. Okay. But it's because I'd make the joke about me before someone else could make the joke about me. I was a fat kid. I knew I was fat. I carried it well. No one bullied me about it because I made the joke first. And so sometimes I hold it against them because I'm like, well, if you just bullied me a little bit, maybe I would have got in shape. Do you know what I mean? Like a little bit of fat shaming, you might have motivated me. I might have had my big Rocky Balboa moment. But you just sort of told me it was all right. And I was like, all right. And then Lizzo told me it was all right. And I was like, well, I'll be fat then. All right. So yeah, it was, and my dad is hilarious, but in a stupid way. He doesn't know. It's almost like he tells you a story that has no punchline, but because he starts laughing, you start laughing. And it's just like, and he'll still go around to this day telling people that I'm funny because of him. And he taught me everything I know about comedy. So yeah, huge part. And I think we've always been the sort of push the line, we might say something inappropriate in a family function because it's funny. Yeah, we don't care. Like it's sort of, we will get the joke out. So yeah, I think huge part. And I suppose even like sort of random things where I thought I'd love to do this professionally was like in year 8 when when me and Daniel was there as well. Actually, we gate crashed a Chinese exchange student dinner. And we was like 14. And we're in this restaurant because we was like, this is definitely free food. And we just pretended like we were part of the exchange and we had one of the kids was living with us and we gate crashed this meal. We went to a swanky restaurant in like Leicester Square, Chinatown. We're eating beautiful food. But in that moment, I was making people that didn't speak the same language as me laugh. And I thought, oh, okay, this is cool. It's like a nice feeling. Whereas, you go to school and you go to your friend's house and you make people laugh, but they're people innit? Yeah, and it's like when people say, oh, I'm the funniest guy. I could be a stand-up. Yeah, but there's a difference between making people laugh and 400 people staring at you going, make me laugh then, you know?
Yeah.
And I think, so yeah, it was a huge part of growing up, but never seen as a professional, a profession, you know? Like, but yeah, it was almost just seen as part of my personality.
But in fact, you went completely the other way, some might say. You were studying like economics and then banking.
Yeah.
But then you went into comedy. So what you got against money, mate?
What have I got against money? I think I wasn't built for that environment. I never fit in that corporate world, I thought.
Right.
I'll be honest, what I really wanted to be was a barber.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to cut hair because he was always the cool guy, you know? Your barber's always the cool guy. And well, in London, maybe it's a London thing, I don't know. And maybe it's an ethnic thing even. But, you know, the barbershop is where everyone gathered. And there wasn't, before COVID, there wasn't any of these sort of booking systems and you come in at a certain time. You'd have 20 people there and it might take you 4 hours to get in the chair, but everyone is just talking. And I tell you, people didn't need therapy back then because your barber would tell you what's wrong with you. And he'll be brutally honest as well. It's funny because some of them is like sitting in a doctor's surgery, you know, and you just hear a man get bad news like he's only got 3 cuts left. But that's what I really wanted to be. And then, because I didn't think comedy was a job, you know? I didn't see it as something, how do you maybe you have to study to get into it and all of that. But the barbershop stuff, that was all sort of, no, you can't do that. That's not a real job for an Indian boy. Nah. In my area, the Greeks and the Turks, they cut hair. But, you know, you have to go and be a professional. And I was like, right, okay, well, I guess so. And then I ended up doing economics and then, you know, ended up working in banking. I won't say who I work for, but it's a pretty prestigious bank. I was there for 13 years and it was an interesting job because my job involved giving financial advice / sort of wealth management to millionaires. And like some people, household names, you know them, right? And it was almost like I was doing comedy when I'm talking to them because it's like crowd work. It's like being a salesman. I think all salesmen do crowd work. You know, they're trying to find an angle and they're trying to charm you, and that's basically what we do on stage. Yeah, and then from there, it sort of changed from COVID, and everything became this. It became sort of calls, and it became Zooms, and it became all of this, and everything was recorded. And I was like, I can't really be myself now. And the clients are looking at me like, you've changed a little bit. And at that point, I was doing comedy for sort of 5 years whilst doing the banking. Yeah. And truth be told, it was killing me because I was finishing at 5, getting in the car, driving to Manchester, doing a gig, coming back, going to sleep, waking up, being in the office for 8. And I was doing that for 5 years at the same time. So it was absolutely killing me. Bank balance looks sexy, but it was killing me. So then when the job changed and they said sort of, hey, we're gonna get rid of a few people and it's voluntary, I was like, I'll go. And I took the plunge and went full time. Yeah. But yeah, worlds apart. Yeah. But I think comedy has so much transferable skills. And you notice it more that charm and charisma and persona go such a long way. Yeah. And I feel like that can't be taught, or it can't be, you know, it's you. Whatever you character you're playing on stage is, obviously there's some character comedy and that's very different, but sort of the likability and stuff mirrors your material. And I think that that makes a huge difference, that you've got that sort of ability to talk to random people in a sales role, and it's quite a transferable skill. Yeah. So what, like you say, you were doing like parallel comedy and banking at the same time. At what point did you think, before you were given the option to
end one and go full time on the other, that comedy was a viable thing for you, that was something that you really wanted to get involved in?
Well, I suppose if we sort of backtrack and say how I got into comedy is I did a course actually.
Okay.
Because I didn't understand how you got into this game. I didn't know you sort of get up and go to an open mic. I blew my mind that you could do that, if I'm honest. I didn't know that stuff existed. I don't know if back then when I started in sort of 2019, if it was as common as it is now. Now you could do sort of 6 gigs in one night, couldn't you, if you plan your journeys right?
Yeah.
And so I did a course, and the course, it didn't tell me anything about sort of material or generating material, but it gave me the confidence to get up when I sort of first started. And it was, I think that was sort of my biggest roadblock was the confidence to talk to a room full of people.
Right.
And so this was this sort of 6-week course with a showcase at the end. So that was my first ever gig was the showcase.
Yeah.
And it was sort of a sold out backyard comedy club, friends and family. And I remember a moment where I was sort of in the second half. And I remember a moment when I was stood outside my car and I had the keys in my hand and I just went, "Get done the course. You don't need to do the show." And I nearly left. And I thought, I don't really know these people too well. No one's going to chase me down. No one's going to wonder what happened to Raj. And I just thought, just leave. You don't have to do it. You're not getting paid. Just leave. And I didn't. And I'm so glad I didn't, because that show was amazing. And sort of off the back of that show, I ended up doing a sold out theatre for the guy that runs the course's hour and opened for him.
Yeah.
And again, it was a really warm room where it'd been prefaced that I was on his course and, I'm new and it's my second ever gig and it was lovely. And that's when I thought, oh, this is a job. This could be something you can do. And then my third gig was to 2 people that I brought with me. So it swings and roundabouts. The worst thing is I was first on. So I can't even if I leave, I've taken 100% of the audience with me. And then I think from there, it was just, I caught the bug and I did gigs every day if I could.
Yeah.
Because that's probably when I saw it as a job. But again, there was that sort of stigma of, how do I tell my family that this is my job now?
Yeah.
So I did both at the same time. And like I said, it sort of killed myself running up and down the country. And that's where COVID actually helped, because I could work from a hotel room in Glasgow and no one would know.
Right.
So in that sense, it was really sort of helpful in that sense. But now I've got so much freedom that I can, 2 p.m. I can sit and talk to you, Mark. What a joke. I don't actually remember your question, Mark. Did I answer it?
I don't remember what it was either. So I'm sure you did.
Fair enough.
So you're talking about family there, and family and identity, that comes up a lot in your comedy. So making that transition, then how does your support group respond when you're let go and you say, "No, I'm going to be a clown now"?
Well, it's interesting actually, because I lied. I said it was, they still think I worked for the bank for the last 3 years, and I put a suit on every morning.
Is that why you're in your car?
No, the lie was that I told them it was compulsory redundancy.
Right.
And so it was out of my hands, not that I'd chosen to leave. And the whole attitude to that was, oh, you'll find another job. You've got 13 years of experience in the bank. You'll find another job. And I was like, I might just do comedy for a bit. And my dad's like, 6 months or so, just do a bit of comedy for 6 months while you look for another job. I've never looked for a job. And I promise you, I would commit crime before I go back to a 9 to 5. I can't do it, Mark. I can't do it. I will be on a street corner doing, I don't know, whatever I need to, begging, before I go back to a 9 to 5. I can't do it. So in terms of them now, so supportive. And it's weird because I get told sort of third hand, your dad's really proud of you, you know.
Yeah.
He won't ever say it to me, but he'll tell his cousins and stuff. Oh yeah, he's doing this show, he's doing that show. Yeah, he's always traveling. He's da 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 da. But I did do something that was a sort of it was a goal of mine, and because I was able to do that, and I don't know how much of this I should say because it's in the show, so it's a grey area, isn't it? But I was able to achieve something in my life that made their life comfortable.
Right.
And I think that is always the end goal. It's not about how much money you make. It's about looking after your loved ones. And so, because I was able to do that, I think whatever I did, as long as I was still able to make sure they were okay, like they did for their parents, it was the sort of thing. And because they saw sort of profile building while I was still at the bank, I think they now know I won't ever work. He's over the 6 months. He's not emailing me jobs anymore, you know? from the other side of the living room. He's not sending me jobs. What I wouldn't put past him is him applying on my behalf. I wouldn't put that past him. He's the type to say to me, send me your CV. I just want to see it as an example. And then just start shipping it off to different banks around the world. He's that type of guy. But yeah, super supportive now. In fact, probably my strongest cheerleaders.
Wow.
You know, they will... I think I had a flyer from Edinburgh last year when I did a whip, and I had a stack left over because I don't like flyering.
Yeah.
And the other day I was sort of pottering around the house, and I went into my parents' sort of bedroom to get, I think it was an earbud to clean my ear or whatever. I just saw the flyer on sort of her bedside table. And so it's like little things like that where they're so super proud of it, but they'll never tell me. They'll tell everyone else. And they do this thing, and it's almost a tradition now, where when I leave the house, they'll say, have you got a show? Yes, no. And then it will either say, have fun or good luck, depending on my answer. And so before every show, they'll wish me luck. And if they forget to do it, they'll text me and say, hey, good luck, have a good show. And it's like they're my biggest cheerleaders. So, and then to sort of caveat that, they've never seen me do it. They've never seen me do it. They've never seen me do stand-up. That's a lie. The first time they ever saw me do stand-up was on BBC New Comedy Awards. And that's the one and only time they've seen me do stand-up. And it was on TV.
Yeah.
But to them, that's like huge. You know, my son is on TV.
Yeah.
So they do see it as like, hey, this is an actual job. This could bring, you know, comfort to, and that's all they want is comfort, right? Because they come from, my dad's from Uganda, my mum's from India. So they come here, they want a better life for their first generation here. And that's the sort of goal. That's why I think so many Ugandan Indians are successful, because they came from for a better life. And whilst they couldn't necessarily achieve it for themselves, the first generation, it was their goal to make them successful.
Yeah. On that subject, you did an interview a few years ago when you were on the Indians Are Coming tour. You said, I think what you said was that you spent most of your life trying to convince people that you're Indian. What did you mean by that?
Well, no one believes me. I mean, it's so funny, the amount of... I grew up in a very Indian area. The amount of people I will catch talking about me in my native, my sort of language, which is Gujarati, thinking I am anything from Afghan to Mexican. And I'm fluent in my language. So when I hear them say stuff, I answer them back and they're, what? And I love doing it to people, because 9 times out of 10, it's one elderly auntie talking to another elderly auntie about crossing the road because I'm coming along. And so for their safety, they should cross the road. And I'll just answer back saying, don't worry, I'm going to rob the lady behind you. So, and it's like, even, sort of, you tell someone your name and they'll go, what? Do you know what I mean? So I spent, or we go to a family function and my dad is very Indian. Mum's very Indian. And then I come in and they're like, well, who's this guy? But yeah, very fair skin for a full Indian. And it means I can really relate to Michael Jackson. Maybe edit that bit out.
Yeah, he had other things going on as well.
But yeah, it's like it's always been an interesting sort of growing up around, even in school. I was in a mixed sort of bunch of friends where it was like, we were literally like a UN meeting. You know what I mean? We'd have just all the nations in this one group. But it's like the sort of offshoots of the big crews that had the main. So all the Indians would play cricket at lunchtime, but I never played with them because I never sort of got accepted at the start. It's weird. I say accepted. It's not that deep, obviously. Like, it's not, I could have put myself out there, but because they sort of congregated towards each other, and I was sort of first day in secondary school where you're a bit timid. Bear in mind, I didn't even want to go to that school. I wanted to go to the boys' school, but my dad couldn't get his head around why I wanted to go to the boys' school. But I'm glad he talked me out of that, actually. But my best friend was going to the boys' school from primary school, and I was like, I want to go with him. But I went to the same school that my dad went to, my sister went to, all of her we all had the same English teacher. How mad is that? We all had the same English teacher, rest in peace. Yeah, absolute monster. Because he's been that sort of teacher where he was able to hit kids and then he wasn't able to hit kids. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's had to actually behave himself, so he's just become a sour man. But yeah. So, and the beard, the hair, the skin. No one believes. First of all, I could pass for Indian. But then when you tell them you're Gujarati, that's like, what? But I get great amusement out of confusing people, especially delivery drivers, because in my area, they're all Gujarati. And so they knock on the door and they see my name, and it's a proper Gujarati name. You wouldn't even think anything else. If you were Gujarati, you'd be like, oh. Because there's a famous cricketer with the same surname as me. And then my first name is just very Indian. So they know he's Gujarati. Then I open the door and they'll say the name to me and I'll be like, yep. And they'll be like, huh? And they just, I get the added security checks because they're like, nah, this can't be his food. This is for a guy called Raj Poojara. No, there's no way. But I do. I enjoy it a lot. At least if I commit a crime, they'll be looking for a Greek guy.
Once you started into comedy, and as it progresses for you, what did you find that surprised you? What was different about the idea of doing comedy and the actual practicality of it, the reality of it?
Well, growing up, obviously, like I said, I just watched these sort of huge comedy shows, Lee Evans, Eddie. And that was my perception of comedy.
Yeah.
So the Rude Awakening was really the two people that I brought with me show.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this could be how it could be sometimes. And so that was like, okay. Yeah, it's the only art form where you can't sort of practice at home on your own.
Right.
You have to write a joke, go to a comedy club, and either make a room full of people or a room of two people laugh, or you bomb. But there's no way of knowing that joke works unless you go and do it. And that, you know, you could practice the violin at home, record yourself, listen back to it. But whether a joke works or not, you have to go out there, find out, and die on your ass if you have to. And that's the sort of the surprising thing was how much difference there is between sort of open mic, and I thought everything was just going to be like sort of big rooms, like backyard and full of people. Being my first gig, theaters, 400 people, and then you go, all right, well, you know, here we are, doing 6 people on a Saturday night. And yeah, it gets to a point in that evening where the 6 people are like hostages as well, aren't they? They're just like, well, we went out as well, but we're here now. And it's so funny because you have some places that will do like a break in the show. They'll do a break in the show. But when you got 6 people, you're like, we'll just run through because if we have a break, they might not come back. we'll just do the whole show. We won't let them out. And I think, yeah, that, you know, if you get a good audience of 6 where they're a bit sort of open-minded and they understand that this is people trying new material, then it can be a great show. It can be a great show as well. And a real good indicator of, because I'm quite precious about where I do new material. I think some rooms give you a false reality of whether something's good or not. And some rooms are brutally honest. And I think that's the place you want to try it. Because then you know it bangs in the other one, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, definitely surprised me how much, how gigs weren't sort of going to be this big arena that I imagined I was going to be.
Well, you mentioned about your appearance on BBC New Comedy. You've done like finals or semi-finals in that and the Max Turner in So You Think You're Funny. How do you feel about competitions? How competitive are you?
I'm very, very, very competitive and I hate comedy competitions. I just think it adds a level of nerves that are unnecessary.
Right.
And then you think, okay, we're doing a comedy competition for an art form that's subjective. That's weird to me. Then you do a comedy competition where the audience vote, well, one of the acts has brought 60 people with them.
Yeah.
So popularity wins. And so I don't like the competitions. What I do like is something where there's a panel and they sit down and they discuss stuff. Absolutely. That's great. Am I bitter that I never win a competition? Maybe a little bit. Maybe that's where this is all coming from. I have a whole thing. My whole personality in comedy is that I don't win anything. And so I can't win anymore. I don't want to win because my whole thing is always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So I don't want to win anything because that will really taint my whole bitterness towards competitions. But I entered them all and I enjoyed the nerves at the time.
Right.
It's interesting because I think people often ask me if I still get nervous. And I think you should get nervous. I think if you're growing in this industry, you should get nervous because you should be doing a bigger gig than you were doing before. And you should be doing a different audience, you know, oh, I only do London. Now I'm in Middlesbrough. It's a different type of person. It's a different demographic. It's a different sort of type of comedy that they enjoy. And so the nerves, I think, are important because I think they keep you hungry. They keep you fresh. They keep you in the moment. They make you good.
Yeah.
That and sometimes really bursting for a pee makes me perform well as well. gives me a little pep in my step. So yeah, competitions, I did them because I thought you're meant to. I couldn't tell you who beat me at So You Think You're Funny. I couldn't tell you. And I honestly think comedy competitions, great if you win them. You smashed it. And I'm not disrespecting that element of it at all. But it is just like your GCSEs, isn't it? It's like, I couldn't tell you what I got in my GCSEs, Mark. Do you know what I mean? If I applied for a job now, I'd make them up. Like, I honestly, I don't think people will remember stuff like that. I mean, do you know what you got in your GCSEs?
Yeah, I do.
What were they, O-levels in your time?
Easy.
I'm messing with you, Mark.
In fairness, I did do the first year of GCSE.
Did you?
All my mock papers were old O-level papers, and I failed them all miserably. And then I actually managed to pass my GCSEs.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I was the first year of BBC New Comedy Awards being televised again.
There you go. See
what I did there? I brought it back. I started interviewing you, and then I brought it back to me.
Such a pro.
That's media training, Mark. That's media training. Yeah, so it was the first one televised, and I'll be honest, it was interesting because they were a bit headless because we were the first one. London was the first one. And so, we were off filming these things for TikTok. They never used that. We had to be there 4 hours early. And they were doing all this stuff that they had plans for, and they never used anything. And then the next episode, they scrapped it all. So we were like very much the guinea pigs, and it made the show tougher for us, I thought. And there was still sort of cabaret style tables and all this stuff. And it's TV in it, so there's no flow to it. But it is, I really enjoyed it as a show, and I hated it as a competition.
Yeah.
I think that's the Max Turner. I got screwed over there. The winner, the guy that knocked me out, the Max Turner, one of his friends fainted while I was performing, and I'm absolutely sure it was a setup. Andy Watts, I know you set that up. I know you've got your mate to faint while I just started. And he hit the floor so hard as well. I was like, well, what do I do now? I think I even tried to laugh it off, like, you ever been so funny you made someone faint? And everyone just looked at me like, are you a dickhead? Are you an absolute idiot? There's a man on the floor right now. But I was so new that I just didn't have it in the locker to, like, now I would, if I'm doing 4 shows at Angel, for example, out of just excitement, I would mess about in one of them with crowd work and stuff, because otherwise it's too repetitive, and I would just try and find something in the room to just make it more exciting for me. But yeah, in terms of competitions, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do think they're worth having.
Yeah.
And I'm bitter as well. I'm just saying that so people see what I did. I said it about me before someone else could say it about me.
Well, you're talking about doing 4 shows a night, and obviously we're going to talk about Edinburgh, because you're taking your show Dice up to the fringe. You're going to be putting on 20 plus shows, plus all the other spots you're going to be doing. And is that how you keep it fresh for you? You mix up a little bit, you throw in some crowd work and change it, because you're going to be doing the same show again and again.
Yeah, I'm guilty of it in my work in progresses. I get distracted and I start doing crowd work, and then I have a moan at myself and say, I have to stay on track and get these words out right now. I was talking to one of the directors, and I'm like, listen, watch it, but remember, I pivoted several times. And I think, I was trying to say to him, is crowd work all right in Edinburgh? Because there's elements of Edinburgh that I am completely lost in, Like my agent will ask me a question and I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. She's like, where do you want your posters? I don't know. Where should I put I don't know. I don't have a clue. Yeah, the admin side of Edinburgh blows my brain. So, I'd always pass the buck on that stuff. I mean, I'll pay for it. You just tell me what to do, I think, yeah, I've got bits in my show where I will do crowd work to go into those bits, and they're very tailored, but the answers they give me is what I will bounce off, but I know how to pivot it back to the show. And I suppose them giving me that little sort of nugget of what I don't know what they're going to say and how I work off that is sort of where the excitement will come from me. And other than that, I will do my show how I meant to do my show, and I'll use the other spots to mess about and try and get people to come to my show from there. So I will find an avenue to just release whatever tension I have in terms of being in a monotonous sort of same thing every day. But yeah, I'm doing a few different spots there. I'm doing another show at Pleasance that I'm sort of popping up on for, I think, 4 of the shows. And then I'm doing another South Asian show, which is in Hoots and stuff like that. So I'm going to be busy.
Yeah.
I'm doing another one, which is, this is what I love about Edinburgh. There's all these different shows with different premises. And because everyone tries to do something unique, it generates a sort of hunger in me to be like, oh, that's different. I'm flexing a different muscle here. Like the other day I did a show in the Improv Theatre, the Free Association. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a beautiful room.
Yeah.
Never knew that existed. What a room. And they did a show that's similar to Set List.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're performing and something pops up behind you, and that's completely out of my comfort zone. But I threw myself in there and I thought, it's a bit of fun, And it's funny how your mind works. I mean, I think one of the pictures was just a hand. And I went from hand to palm reading to kids. And it's funny how you can just... And it's nice to flex those different muscles that we know we have, but because we're straight sort of stand-ups, well, I'm a straight stand-up, and improv, as much as I can't do it, I think it's so fun, and doing the odd one here and there, I'm so up for. So I'm doing a few shows in Edinburgh where it's like that, where it's suggestions from the audience. And I think, that will be my little vent from doing the hour.
Yeah.
And I picked a nice little time as well. I said I won't do it unless I get a sort of 4:30 time, purely because I want people before dinner, post lunch,
Yeah. That's the sweet spot.
It was really tactical in my mind what I did. And so a nice 4:35 show, which means I can do stuff before and after. And and I just got the poster design sent through to me. So I really like how that's looking as well. So I'm excited.
So what's the show all about? What can ticket holders expect?
What can ticket holders expect? Well, the show is a lot about what we've spoken about today, actually. So it's a lot about like family, family pressures, school life, and being sort of, I want to use the word groomed into a career. I want to use the word groomed into a career where I wanted to have a career in grooming. Do you see what I did there? Yes. Nice. Come on, Mark. Come on. And ending up in a corporate world. And I've called it Dice because I feel like we're all sort of given a dice at birth, and there's 6 ways that your life can go. But my dice was never given to me. And that's sort of what the show's about. And it's about taking control of what you want to do. And then the sort of metaphor of rolling a dice and taking a risk, which is what I did. So it's a lot about sort of family, identity, cultural stuff, school life, all of that into this sort of message that I've made up at the end.
Do you still go to watch comedy? Does it entertain you? Are you a good audience member?
You know what? I say to a lot of people that I'm immune to comedy now. Is that a weird thing to say? I'm not immune to it, but I might not laugh out loud. But I can appreciate what someone's done. So I could sit there and I can watch someone and I can go, oh, you smashed it. If something makes me laugh, though, it's really good. It is really good. It's really good. Like, if something makes me laugh, it's really good. And then sometimes I'll sit there and go, for God's sake, I wish I thought of that. Do you know what I mean? And I won't laugh, but I'll be upset that someone's got that before me. And I can. Absolutely. I can watch comedy. I can enjoy it. Am I a good audience member? I don't think I laugh anymore. But having said that, if I'm with someone, I think I can get into it. But the feeling I had when I first went to a comedy show, which was Comedy Store 2016. Before that, I'd been to like sort of Hammersmith Apollo to watch Russell Peters. But not like a comedy club, right?
Right.
And the first time I went to the Comedy Store, and I tell you who I watched. I sat right at the side where the entrance is for the green room. Can you picture that?
Yep.
Where that door is, right in front of the sound box, right? I think I was on the last row. And the person I saw that I thought, wow, was Jeff Innocent.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
And at that point, I was with my friend at that point, and I said, I want to do this, and they were like, "Why don't you?" And that was sort of the real sort of. So the feeling I had there in that moment, I don't think I still have that feeling when I watch comedy anymore. I'm far too analytical now, I think.
Yeah,
and I'm constantly guessing what someone's gonna do.
Yeah.
And so the fun is gone. The fun is gone. You know what I am? I'm Jamie Carragher on Monday Night Football. I just seen the game and I'm just going, oh, okay. What he needed to do or what he should have done or I really like what he did. That I'm that guy. I'm Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher now at the comedy club. I'm a pundit rather than a punter.
If you were your own pundit, looking back at this point, and obviously with many years still ahead of you, what have so far been the worst and best moments that you've had through being a comedian?
Wow, worst and best moments. Best moments have probably been some of the tour supports I've done this year and putting me into rooms that, you know, that are full. And for some of my favorite people as well, you know, Laura Smith, we did the O2 Indigo together. Josh Pugh, who's just one of my favorite human beings. You know, he's just such a nice guy. And he'll just text me the most random thing. And I love it because it just puts a smile on my face. Doing his tour supports. And then stuff like sort of Milton Jones and being in places of the UK that I didn't know existed. Bridlington Spa. You ever heard of that? I said, what am I doing here? I'm in places where the newsagent's got white people in it. I said, what's going on here? got in a taxi. The guy said, "All right, geezer." I said, "Bloody hell, where am I?" Yeah, but that is the best thing, is that this job takes me to places that I didn't ever, or I would have never visited, and met people that I never would meet. And it makes you think, sometimes you're in a green room and you think, I'm sat here with people, and if we were to walk down the street together, people would think, how the hell did these four people meet each other? I tell you what, I went on a tour of York Minster.
Mm-hmm.
I was on tour support with Jamali at the time.
Yeah.
We were in York. I went on a tour of York Minster, and it was me, Jamali, Greg Davis, and Sam Campbell. And I just thought, if we weren't famous, or, I'm not saying I'm famous, but I'm saying if they weren't famous and they weren't known, and we were walking through, I don't think you could have put a weird of four people together, And I think that's the beauty of comedy, is that you will just meet people that you might never have crossed paths with in life and been friends with, and the job forces you to be friends, but breaks down barriers that might have stopped you being friends together. And I think that's beautiful about the game. And the opposite is that you will do some horrid gigs. I did a restaurant opening once. A restaurant opening shouldn't have comedy. It's like someone saying to me, like, you tell jokes and people will be eating. Oh, you mean the thing that I need them to use to laugh at my joke is full of chicken curry? Is that what you're telling me? I swear, I dropped a punchline. No one laughed, and I just heard a woman in the corner go, "Yeah, I think I'll have pilau rice instead of steamed, actually." And I thought, what am I doing here? What am I doing? The other worst feeling of comedy is after you finish a gig like that and someone walks past you and goes, "You were great," to the person stood next to you, and you just think, you know what you did there. You know what you did. Yeah, that's a form of silent bullying, actually. That's the two worst things about comedy, I think.
Yeah. Well, do you think you've learned one lesson that you would pass on to a new generation of comedians, or something you would say to yourself starting out? Is there one important thing to keep in mind?
Is there one important thing to keep in mind? That's a great question. I think there's so many I don't think I'm trying to weigh up what's the most important to give you one. I think we lose a lot of people that were great, like they quit and they were great. And I think obviously the reason they quit could be an array of things.
Yeah.
But I think my one bit would be take the good with the bad, because there's going to be a bit of both.
Yeah.
Just take the good with the bad, and the bad will become more good as you become more good. Like the gigs just get easier, right? I just take the good with the bad. That's probably shit advice, but frankly, I don't need the competition with more comedians coming in. So just quit. Just quit. Just stop doing it. Stop doing it. I don't need it. I don't need more competition out here.
So, Raj, how can people find out all about you and where they can see you performing?
So, everything, all socials are accessible through my website, which is rajpoojara.com. Got all the tickets on there for all the work in progresses coming up. All my Instagram, TikTok, everything's available through there. But if you want to go straight to that, it's Lord_Raj, 2 J's. Even though my name doesn't have 2 J's, but someone beat me to that handle. So Lord_Raj, 2 J's is all the Instagrams. It's got all the work in progresses on there. I'm doing a few all around the country. And then Edinburgh, I'll be in Bunker 3 with the Pleasants, 4:35 on every day except the 17th. Because the 17th is It's me day. I'm gonna go to the spa. I'm gonna dip my little tootsies in the jacuzzi.
So we come to my last question, of course, which is the title of the show, obviously. How would you sum up comedy in a nutshell?
How would I sum up comedy? I think comedy, whether it is live or you're watching it on TV, it possesses the power for you to forget everything that might be wrong with your life or your day and put a smile on your face, and you forget all your trials and tribulations, and you can just enjoy, get lost in that moment and laugh and forget everything. And that to me is what comedy is. And that's why I think I fell in love with it, is because when I first did it and I felt the laugh hit me, oh yeah, that's a good feeling that I was able to give them that. So that's what comedy is to me. It's a temporary way out of everything going on and just forget about it. That's why I might never talk about politics too much. I'll just talk about dick jokes and shit. Why not? Because the world's sad. The world's sad right now. Listen to me talk about wanking. Come on. Also, no wanking jokes in my show, by the way, if anyone is wondering. Actually, no jokes, just a live demonstration at the end. So buy a ticket. Is that acceptable, do you reckon? Because it's art, I could get away with it.
I think that would have to be in the clowning section of the Fringe brochure.
What have you heard? What have you heard about me, Mark? That took a turn. That took a bloody turn at the end, didn't it?
Thank you so much for being my guest. It's been a genuine pleasure. Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Mark. Thank you so much for having me, man.